Hello and welcome to Kelly Loves K-Pop. I'm Kelly. I do tarot readings on Korean celebrities. Today's reading is going to be about the TXT members and their personalities. Just a quick preface to this video. All tarot readings are for entertainment purposes only, so please don't take everything too seriously. This is just my own psychic intuition and what I get from the cards. And I apologize if there's any noises. I think some storms are moving in, so we might get some thunder. I'll try to edit as much of it out as I can, but you know, we're at Mother Nature's mercy today. So I have my Carolyn Miss archetype cards. Let me see if I can get you the box. Here's the cover if you're interested. And we're gonna do some personality readings for each of the boys, and then I usually break out my tarot deck and I do like a current energies reading, just to kind of see what's going on with them in the moment, if I can get anything. And you know, sometimes we get people bickering in their dorms, and sometimes we get lawsuits being filed. It just depends on the day, really. Stick around my channel, subscribe. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to share it with your friends, hit the like button, all that good stuff. This might be my first TXT group reading. Like, I can't remember if I've done readings with any of the other members. If I have, I will be sure to link them in the video cards or description or both. If I forget, feel free to leave me a comment and remind me. I'll make sure to get it in there. Sometimes I'm in a hurry and, you know, I don't have a lot of free time to do these, but I try my best. So for personality readings, I usually do about a 6-card spread. If for any reason more cards jump out, then we'll go ahead and take them, as long as it's not too much. You hear that thunder? I love a good rain, just not when I'm recording. And please don't knock out my power, please. I do have some candles, but not enough to read, not enough for you guys to see the cards very well, I don't think. Also, so consider this a warning to headphones users in case there's lightning. I do live in Florida. My city is actually the lightning capital of the United States. So there probably will be lightning. So just be careful if you're using headphones. I don't know if I can edit it out, if I can't. So you have been warned. Right, we'll do one more shuffle, and we're going to start the reading with Yunjun. When I looked them up, he was the first member to come up, even though I guess he's the oldest, but he's not the leader, if I'm not mistaken. And I looked up his natal chart, his astrological chart. He is a Virgo Sun, Libra Moon. So he seems like he'd be a good elder member. He sounds like he's got really caretaker energy. Also, that has to be interesting because, oh, and I'm sorry if you see my finger with my little band-aid. I cut it opening a Coke can. But it seems like the type of energy he would have would put him at odds a little bit. Virgos can be kind of very critical and want things kind of done in their way. And Libras seem like a very people-pleasing. But, you know, your sun sign and your moon sign affect different areas of your chart. So depending on what house they're in, could greatly affect what planets, you know, interact with them. Astrology is fun. Even if you don't believe in it, it's just really interesting and in a very, very, very old science. It's one of the oldest sciences, actually. Okay, so let's go. Yunjun. Yunjun. Okay. Okay. Now, I don't know anything about TXT. Excuse me. Like I said, I haven't really done any readings on them before that I can remember, and I'm not an avid listener to them. I think I remember their debut song, and that's about it. So if if you have any information you think is worthwhile to share, you know, after you see this reading, please do share it in the comments. I'm always eager to learn about these groups. I do love K-pop. So we have Goddess in the Shadow, which is exploitation of the female nature and form. Sometimes I get this card for, you know, a couple of reasons. Sometimes it's someone that exploits their own feminine nature or their feminine side, or someone that can tend to exploit women in general. With him, I kind of feel it's more of the former. There may be a stereotypically feminine aspect that he utilizes to get attention or to make people like him. Like I said, sometimes just because the card's in shadow doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It just means it's the shadow aspect of that trait. So it's like more that it serves themselves than it serves other people, you know. So it's like he's using those things to his benefit, not to others' benefit. And then we have Saboteur in the Shadow, which is induces self-destructive behavior or desire to undermine others. Again, this could be he's one of those people that will do a lot of things other people won't do to get ahead. I do feel like maybe the Libra moon, he has a nature that he doesn't know how to say no to people sometimes. And he could get himself into not so great situations. Doing things he doesn't want to do or doing things other people around him may not appreciate because he's promised it to someone he wants to impress for whatever reason. So he might... I'm sorry if I sound distracted. The tree in my yard is like the wind is really moving it. Just trying to make sure no tornadoes are dropping out of the sky because it's kind of that kind of weather. Oh well, if this video ends early, you'll know why. Okay, so I have the Hermit in the Light, which is seek solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. So this is a creative type, people that when they are creating, they kind of have to focus completely on that, and they need to kind of like either go to their own personal studios or, you know, have a nice quiet place where people don't interrupt them so they can really like focus on their creativity and being true to their vision, right? Then we have Addict in the Shadow, which is compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. Again, I feel like this is also like he might be addicted to having other people kind of like him. A lot of things, addictive personality, you know, just means like there's certain things you have a really hard time saying no to. There's certain tendencies that you really, you know, need to feel needed, need to feel wanted, whatever it is that makes you, you know, that gives you that serotonin boost or whatever. So I kind of, the word integrity really jumps out at me when I read this. And like this oncoming storm, speaking of, but you know, all these wants, these needs kind of like overtaking him, but I feel like it's not his wants and needs that he's so keen on you know, taking care of. It's like I think he likes to be liked, he likes to be needed, and he may do too much for other people, and it compromises his own I want to say moral code sometimes. Sometimes he may feel what he deems is good isn't as important as what everyone else around him does, and he may sell himself a little bit short in those aspects. Just kind of not wanting to go against the grain. He doesn't want to upset people, doesn't want to, you know, make people uncomfortable. We have Father in the Shadow, which is dictatorial control, abuse of authority. Now, like I said, this sounds more like it would lean on a Virgo thing. And I feel like this steps in because he may enforce, if he feels like someone from the company, the boss or whatever, whatever would please them, even if maybe the younger kids don't want to do that, he's going to enforce that, which I think can be a positive thing in a leader, as long as what the company asks you to do goes with your own moral code and your own wants and desires. But you know, if those things can be questionable, he, like, again, there's this issue where he's going to listen to the hierarchy, the people above him, the management, even, like I said, the elders, the family members. He's gonna kind of just do what they want, and he's going to enforce that on people younger than him, the ones especially he's in charge of. So it can be good and bad. And he needs to be really careful that he's not doing it to other people's detriment to just try to impress people above him. So we have Storyteller in the light, which is ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. So if he's a lyric writer, this is a great trait. It means he's really, really good at getting across, you know, how he feels, what he sees, what he wants to get across. He's good at emoting it. He's good at saying it in a way that people can understand, you know, being charismatic and concise. You know, he's just, and he may have a natural talent for writing books or reference material or teaching. You know, he may also have a talent there outside of just writing music or something like that. So he may find that it's something for him to explore long term. So that's my reading for Yunjun. Yes, Yunjun. Yunjun. Yeah, so that's my reading for Yunjun. And then we're gonna do Subin next, who I believe is the leader. So we're gonna. Subin is one of the ones I think I can recognize. I think him, and I think the Magne. I'm not sure how to pronounce the other guy's name. It's Huning Kai. I don't know. I'll probably just call him Kai from here on out, because I'm sorry if I don't want to butcher his name. But yeah, I feel like Subin and Kai are two of the ones I kind of recognize the easiest, but I will be, thanks to this reading, I'll be learning more about these guys. I have to check my request list, but I feel like I also have readings requesting Subin and friendship readings with other members or other groups. I have to check, but his name, it also sounds like I got more readings with him coming up. Oh, looks like the clouds may be clearing out. Ooh, I think we got lucky, guys. I think the storm is moving on. I mean, it's Florida. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It'll change. That's kind of where we're at. Yay. Which means we'll also get the last little bits of daylight that are left now that daylight saving time has happened here on the East Coast. Okay, Subin. All right. Okay. Usually when I see more than one child card, I especially think someone has kind of a youthful presence about them, a childlike presence. Sometimes they're associated with like fake maknae kind of personalities. But all the same, they're the people that kind of, they're not interested in aging or growing up too soon. So we have Lovers in the Shadow, which is obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion. Sometimes these are people that can be really clingy. I don't know, they can get slightly annoying because they they want to be very, very close, you know, not just emotionally, but like physically with their friends. But also sometimes I get this with people that are into learning a skill or you know, into a new hobby, and like it's all they talk about. Like they get really into it. Like they want to learn it, master it, teach it. It becomes all consuming, whatever interest of the week they have. And a lot of times it can be really good because it means they don't just halfway learn something. Like they get good at it. So dedication is good. They just have to be careful to not become slightly annoying to the people around them, or so hyper focused on the new interest that it's kind of at their detriment. They're losing sleep or putting off responsibilities so they can focus on the new thing. So just kind of stuff like that. And we have Networker in the Light, which is enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. So it means he's socially aware. He's probably a progressive thinker when it comes to liking foreign things, exchanging ideas with people outside of Korea, or just new ways of thinking, breaking out of the old, you know, the elders' ways. This is also a card I associate with, you know, it has male here. I associate it with things like the internet, things like social media. I feel like he particularly would be really into these kind of things, as it's helpful in exchanging all these ideas. It makes it, like I said, he can get really into things, so he also probably is really into learning or reading what other people think on current social issues. He seems like that. Like he's probably well educated on current affairs, current events going on in the world. So we have Prince in the Light attribute, which is romantic charm and potential for power. Very charismatic people. This would be the trait that probably makes him stand out in his leadership role. That has people like him. He knows how to sweet talk people when he needs to. He knows how to charm people when he needs to. And like I said, he easily finds himself in roles of responsibility and power. So far, all these traits definitely align with someone who's responsible and who is, you know, organized, clear thinking, clear speaking, and well educated, very well educated, both, you know, probably through school, but also in any ways he can self-educate, because he knows how to go out and find information. We have the Wounded Child in the Light, which is awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens up the learning path to forgiveness. Again, I see someone with children, you know, enveloping, encompassing, hugging them, being responsible, taking care of them, looking out for people younger than him, not to get mistreated in any way. But also, especially if they have come from any kind of past trauma, he's especially conscious. You know, again, he's aware, he's empathic. He knows what situations are good for what people and which ones aren't, and he's out to protect them. So far, Subin actually sounds like a really sweet guy. I just think he does. I think he has a lot of love in his heart, and he tries his best to, you know, again, be aware when people are uncomfortable, when people need a little extra support. He seems to be that person. Then we have a Magical Child, which is seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. So he doesn't feel limited in any way, that even if he tries and he fails, again, he'll just try something else. Like he knows he will get there. He's smart enough. He has the wherewithal. He has the determination. Whatever it is he chooses to do, he will go out and chase those things. He's not afraid to chase his dreams. I mean, he's a very determined, you know, just a stand-up individual. He just sounds like he's a fighter. He's he's smart, he's emotionally strong, and he doesn't take no for an answer when it comes to you know, his workplace and his status. He's going to go very far with this kind of mentality. And then we have Mother in the Shadow, though. Smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. Remember how we had this card, and it was about maybe being a little too clingy. Like, the way he shows his love is like being like physically, maybe a little smothering. Maybe, you know, sometimes he has to be told to go mind his own business for a while. He can be a little too overzealous in some of those aspects. So he could feel a little smothering. He wants to be there. He wants to be protective. He wants to fight for them. But sometimes I think people also need to feel like they stand on their own 2 feet. They don't need him to overly mother them. He can probably feel a bit like a mother hen. So he probably thinks it's good, but maybe he gets a little too gung-ho. He gets that over, again, overzealous, overeager attitude about some things he really cares about. So he just needs to be careful. I mean, again, TXT, they're all really, really young guys. I'm sure they're going to grow up well, right? We all have bumps in the road. We all have to learn as we grow, right? So if that's the worst thing he's doing, I think he's fine. I don't think we have to worry too much about him. Third, we might have another wave of clouds coming in. Dang it. I don't know, we'll see. Third, we have Bongyu. Pisces, Scorpio. Pisces, Sun, Scorpio, Moon. One thing I noticed about big hit idols is that they love a Scorpio Moon. Like, that seems to be a driving personality trait somewhere. Like, there's something in that personality trait they like, the company likes for some reason. So I don't know, when we go through some of these personality readings for all the Pisces Moon, we'll have to see if anything kind of the common thread. Because I know I have a BTS Suga reading coming up later, and he has a Scorpio Moon too, I think. I'm just like, wow. Anyway, back to Bongyu. We're not talking about Suga will get his own reading later today. Bongyu. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay. Yeah, okay. This fell kind of like that, so I'm gonna leave it that way. Okay, this is too many cards though. That's like 5 cards. If it was like 3 cards, I'd take it. Bongyu seems to have a very talkative energy. Usually when I have a lot of cards flying out, feels like an energy that likes to communicate. Very open. Bongyu. Okay, we got that angel. No, we got angel, not lover. Okay. I was thinking we had lover again, but we don't. We have angel. Okay. Bongyu. Oops. So poet in the shadow, which is turns a lyric gift into a negative or destructive effect. This can mean a lot of times, instead of looking at some of the music they make as artistic or of their own personal views, this is more like maybe chasing what's trendy because he views music as a competition. It's like a competitive sport in some ways for him. So it's like chasing the trendiest lyrics, having the most interesting turns of phrase, you know, like, but sometimes maybe it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to sound cool, you know, like sometimes like that. You may be a little caught up more in being cool than than being heartfelt. Not that that's wrong. That's its own personal taste, you know. But I do think it's like that. It's like there's a competitive edge versus like I don't care if people like this. This is me. You know, it's more like, oh, people are gonna love this. I know it. You know, like that's the energy. Beggar in the Light is confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. So this is someone that, yeah, he has a lot of self-esteem, but it's good that he also has humility and compassion. I think he definitely has a mentality like, if I come up, so does, you know, all my family. Like, I feel this card for me really feels more family oriented. Like, sometimes I'm always like, oh, this person feels like they come from money. Oh, this person feels like they come from a rich family. I feel like Tim, it's really important that he takes care of his family. He may be worried about them financially a little bit. Whether they are well off or they're not, in his mind, I think it feels responsible in a way. So I think there's this feeling of like, this pressure of like taking care of his family, for him. And then we have Alchemist in the Light, which is transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. So, like I said, there's this competitiveness about like, maybe being kind of trendy, being, you know, in vogue, chasing what's fashionable. But it seems like it works for him. Like I said, like he could be a little cocky about it and he might have to worry about that. You know, he maybe not to be so worried about being artist, but being famous and well known. And there's some more thunder. I see a little bit more light through the clouds. I can't tell. Maybe we'll get another wave. Maybe we won't. But yeah, it's like he's also like paying very close attention to what works and what doesn't. And if he does something that doesn't work, he's not going to run that into the ground. He's definitely going to move on to the next. You know, and like I said, if he's really into trendy stuff, that'll be a constant pattern for him, is like moving on to the next thing, moving on to the next thing. If this don't work, that's cool. If this is getting old and tired, then move on. He's not overly attached to slang, fashion. He wants to be cutting edge. Then I get Mediator in the Shadow, which is negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. So, again, I feel like he's kind of competitive, but he's also like feels real pressured about like taking care of his family. And I do think he's like, if you're not part of like me, my crew, my family, like I do not care about you. Like, he does have compassion and humility. Like I said, I feel like it's very connected to his family. I don't see him having like a lot of industry friends. I do think he's like really competitive. So yeah, he may feel like he doesn't want to let people in too close. He may feel like they use him, or he may worry that they're gonna try to steal his mojo, you know, steal his je ne sais quoi, you know, his image, his brand. He may be worried about people knowing too much about those things. So he may keep his circle small and purposefully you know, not give people a lot of his time, people that aren't in his immediate circle. Uh-oh, I see rain. Uh-oh, we may be in trouble here. Uh-oh, and lightning. Eee. Okay, guys, I'm going to try to get these last two cards read really fast. Alright, so we have Angel in the Shadow, which is acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. I usually get this for people who put on a lot of show, a lot of fan service, a lot of aegyo, and in real life are not like that. They're playing a part to appease the fans, the company, the media. but they keep their private lives private. They keep a lot of their personality very private. Oh, come on, Thunder, stop. Okay, and then King in the Shadow, which is excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. Yeah, this is usually, for me, kind of cocky. He may feel a bit entitled, a bit cocky, feels like he's kind of a rung above a lot of other of his peers. Again, like I said, I kind of feel like he's not close. Ooh, lightning. Okay, I was waiting to see if the thunder was gonna crack after. But yeah, so he's got some issues where I think his ego might get in his way a little bit, and he just needs to be careful of that. Hopefully with time that subsides. All right, guys, I'm gonna cut this here, and I'm gonna wait like a half an hour and see if this storm blows over, and then try to resume this video. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this here and I'll be right back. Okay, well, the worst of the storm is over. Still seems like it's raining a little bit, but I think all the bad weather has passed. So we're going to try moving on to the next portion of this reading now, which is Taehyung. We're going to do Taehyung. Okay, so I'm sorry that last bit had to get rushed, but I really didn't want to try to release the energy and then come back to it. I was vibing and I wanted to stay in it, you know? So I have my apologies. So now we're gonna do Taehyung. Our Aquarius. So we got earth, fire, water, air, fire. Got a good balance in this group of zodiacal elements. And when I say zodiacal elements, if you're not into astrology, I do use a lot of astrological information to help build my personality, not inference, but help giving me more context into these personality traits and how they could suit all these guys. So each zodiac sign is associated with an element. So like an Aquarius, Taehyung is an air sign. Air also is a Gemini and Libra. And if you're really interested, you can just Google zodiac signs, and I mean all the information will that's pretty basic. It'll be on the main the main information page of any zodiac sign you reference. But if you have any questions like that, you can feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll answer you best I can. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but it is an interest of mine, and I try to study it every day. Lord knows I've read a few books on it. So Taehyung. Okay, I got the wounded child here as well. There we go. Even the air conditioner's finally quieting down. Okay. Okay. So, do you think we saw a couple of these cards come up before? I know this one for sure. These both felt like they were Subin traits. So I don't know if Taehyung takes on a secondary leadership role within the group. If he has kind of the older brother feeling about him, that's kind of the immediate feeling I get, but we'll see. So we have the wounded child, again in the light, is awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. So again, he tries to look out for people who need a little extra looking out for. People, if he knows they have, if he knows they have anxiety or low self-esteem or something like that, he may be a little extra compassionate, a little extra thoughtful with those people if they're around him. And then we have companion in the shadow, which is betrayal by misusing confidence, loss of personal identity. So this could be that, like, again, maybe this is why he has traits of some of the others, is that he and he's an Aquarius, so as an air sign myself, I can tell you, I think we do pick up habits of people that we are around, and if they're good habits, then we pick up good habits. We're very inquisitive signs, and we tend to be very adaptable. So we want to learn, and I think we're the type that reserve the right to change our minds. So it may be that the people he's around, he will pick up their traits and characteristics. He's very kind of like open, you know, maybe his sense of self isn't too strong, or he enjoys growth and change, and he may just be one of those people that doesn't feel married to being the same person his entire life. He wants to try it all, be it all, do it all. So that may be an issue where not even a negative issue, but an aspect to him. And then we have femme fatale in the shadow, which is inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money or power. Again, so I find that these are people that, when I get this card, are very into money, spending money. They're a little bit more materialistic. You might find that his sense of self-worth may be attached to money or status. So that may be something he, you know, is working through, working on, and is something that he's dealing with right now. And then we have Judge in the light, which is balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. So again, where we saw that he kind of looks out for people he feels are a little more needing of it, people he deems maybe more disenfranchised. Maybe he makes sure people aren't getting bullied. He seems like that. Like, he wants everyone to be treated fairly, but to do that, he understands there are some people that they're starting from a different place, and he wants to help boost them up when he can, or protect them from being taken advantage of. And then we have artist in the shadow, using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as a starving artist to elicit pity. Again, I kind of got a little bit of an entitlement here. Again, I don't think he goes out of his way to be rude to anyone, but I do think there's, again, you know, this attachment to money, power, status, where he does feel, you know, like he's of the elite, or at least that's the air he wants to give off. You know, like, I don't think he's in this to elicit pity, but in the shadow of an artist, I do feel like this is more like he never wants to be viewed in that, like, starving artist kind of thing. You're right. Like, he doesn't want people to judge him for being an idol, almost, is really what I say. Like, I don't know. This one, the card is kind of saying that you're proposing to be worse off than you are to get something out of it. But I feel like I see this as the shadow attribute being, you know, in opposition to what the light aspect of this card is. So I am deviating very much from what this says, but that's just because this is what me going with my intuition and why this card would come up for him. So, you know, you have to understand with these readings, there's only so many cards, and I do them for so many idols and so many personality types. But if I get a vibe, you know, if I'm reading that person's energy, I'm going to kind of know that this card can come up in for many reasons, and they're not exactly what the card is saying. It's just showing that it's the shadowy aspect of being, you know, the artist. And I feel like this is more like he almost wants to distance himself from the starving artist trope, from that idols are just picked off the street and trained and given everything. Like, he wants to distance himself. Like, he wants to show that, like, you know, he has status, that he wasn't handed it, like he's earned it, he's deserving. Like, that's kind of what I get more so from him than just verbatim what this card says. So I know that can be a little confusing, but just know that, like, sometimes, you know, we're talking about just artists in the shadow, and the words on the card, sometimes I go by the image on the card, sometimes I go by the way the card is placed among the other cards. Like, I'm gonna pull from it whatever stands out the most to me. So that's what I have for that. And I'm sorry if it's a little confusing, but yeah, I definitely just see him wanting to distance himself from the starving artist trope, or from an undeserving artist kind of feeling, that he would be lesser because he's an artist, or because he had to be trained in a company. He's very not interested in that, and people seeing that or seeing him in that way. So we have networker in the light again, which is enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. So again, I feel like this is about being connected, understanding like what's going on in the world, what's going on socially, being socially aware, being really well connected through the internet, being really well versed in how to use the internet. So like I said, I say social media, just things like Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. You know, he's definitely on those platforms, and he's gaining lots of information and you know, education about world matters through that. So, you know, like you do. So yeah, he's very open to learning and getting his world awareness in that way. So then we have just one more left. Again, this is, I told you I would refer to him as Kai. I hope that's right. I hope that's okay. Oops, my band-aid. My finger's not really bleeding or anything. It's not pretty. So it's just like a little cut where the skin wants to lift up. And I don't want it to be too too unpleasant for you guys to see. All right. Let's see, Kai. He is the Leo. So him and Subin are the fire signs. So being that those were the two I learned first, that makes sense. Leos are usually naturally centers of the spotlight. They welcome it. They enjoy it. Not all the time, but generally speaking, it's a very fire sign, especially Leo. Woo, saw more lightning. Just jumped, scared me. It's so quiet. Especially Leos, though, for more so than Aries and Sagittarius. But they all like doing, you know, being known for what it is that they do, and being good at what they do. Leos, fire signs in general, tend to be creative types. Like I said, natural performers usually. Okay. Well, I guess so we got the 3 upright and the 3 in shadow. But in the tarot, we would call it in reverse. Okay, so engineer in the light, me see, maybe those are a little too high. Is ability to give creative energy to a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas, which means he's like a creative thinker. He thinks outside the box. He may be good with like electronics even more than, you know, the communications cards we got for the other two. This is almost one that's like the tier above that. He's like the type that probably gets in on apps that aren't even that popular. He's like in on them first because he kind of can see how they're supplying something that's not that's so ahead of the curve people don't even know how big it's going to be. Like he's probably an early adopter of certain you know, social media things like that, or certain programs. He might be really good at like doing his own you know, photography or photo editing, or you know, it could be with music too, music editing, more like the technological side. He may be more into creating music electronically than traditionally. It could be like a lot of that. Like he's really good with technology and creative energy and where they meet. Then we have Femme Fatale with the light. So we got the other one for Taehyung, I think. Right, so now we have it upright for Kai. It says, highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. So to me, this, like when the dependency is rejected, it's like almost like he probably does better. I see him doing solo work, basically. Like I feel like he's good with his group, but I definitely think he has a aspect to him where he, I think, knows how to also shine as a solo. Not that the others can't be and won't do solos, but I think, like I said, this will be very natural for him. He'll probably not have to work as hard for it as the other boys. I just think he'll naturally be attracted to companies for solo contracts. I don't know. There's just like things about him he can do that the others can't, and it seems like it's attractive to people. I don't know. There's just that. The more he does it too, the more he is, the more his confidence builds to do it. Like the more, in the beginning, it's like something he doesn't think he'll want to do, but as time goes on, he'll really enjoy working alone. I'm sure he'll enjoy working with the group too, but he'll have both sides to him that I think more so than we've seen so far, at least from the others. Like I said, they're all young, things change, things grow, but for him, this is about like almost being seduced by wanting to be alone or work alone, or see that when that dependency is broken, when he's forced to stand on his own 2 feet, that he can, and then once he can, he will enjoy it more. Some people really don't like solo work. Some people really do better in the group. I think he'll find he's good at both. Mediator in the light is gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life. Respect for both sides of an argument. So again, this is about him being kind of more balanced and also being able to share that balance with other people when they need, you know, a mediator that can hear both sides, that's objective. Again, like I said, he kind of thinks outside the box. He kind of comes at things from a different perspective, different frame of mind. So I think that helps him when he deals with people as well. He doesn't come into too many situations with preconceived notions or things like that. With high expectations, he may try to limit his expectations just for a better understanding of the people and the situations that he's in. Warrior in the shadow. Trading ethical principles for victory at any cost. Indifference to the suffering inflicting on others. So, victory at any cost, yeah. Again, I don't know if this is in relation to him working better on his own, but he may find a bit of feel competitive with the boys in the group. He may feel like he still has to prove to the, you know, prove to himself, prove to the world, prove to the company, whatever, that that he's a force to be reckoned with, not to take him lightly, you know, not to underrate him in any way. So he may, that may be really important to him, to feel like among his peers he's highly valued, and that they view him as competition, or just that his sights as an idol are like bigger, like he really wants to be at the top. And then we have thief in the shadow is stealing money, creative ideas, affection, and other powers you think you lack. I kind of get this sometimes with groups that some of the issues when they go to write songs or do stages, sometimes they run into plagiarism issues, whether it's intentional or unintentional. He might have to be careful that he doesn't, that he double checks sometimes that what he wants to do hasn't already been done, isn't too well known, or he's not pressured to do something other people do and is popular. Like one of the other members, you know, is really into that. He may be really not into it and it feels pressured to go along. He may be the one that is kind of not, like I said, he thinks outside the box. He may be just not into doing what, you know, he may not be into it, but he may be pressured to do it. So he needs to be careful that he doesn't like believe people when they say, well, it's popular, other people doing it, you got to do it. Also, low-key romantic, he may not care if, you know, like, he might need to be careful about cheating, being, you know, the other man. He may have to worry about that. Just kind of low-key. I don't want to see him getting any scandals because he was messing around with someone else's significant other. But hopefully that's not the case. Then we have, I don't know if I should say this because it might affect the video in the future, but I guess you can read it for yourself there. Yeah, you can read that, right? So in the light, it was in the light, wasn't it? Was it? No, they were all down. They were all down. It was in the shadow. It says, placing material considerations and security above self-empowerment. So again, parts of where he may feel pressure to do some things he wants to and he doesn't quite stand up to them. It may be from a place where he doesn't feel secure. And that may also be where this is coming from too, where he feels competitive because he doesn't feel secure. He may feel like he's replaceable, he's expendable. I'm not sure why. So that may be why he's afraid to speak up. Or just maybe a lack of self-esteem because he knows he thinks a little different. He is a little different. Something of that nature. But either way, he's scared to speak up and go against the grain. And that could be something that really holds him back if he's not careful. So I'm sorry, my voice seems like it's dying. It could be allergies. It probably is. But let me get my tarot cards and I'm going to go ahead and get my Lightseers Tarot. And we are going to do a quick tarot reading on TXT and what they could be going through right now. Like I said, really love this tarot deck. It's quite good for a little bit of a modern take on the cards. So see, TXT, what? There's a little bit of thunder again. Hopefully it's not too loud. It's not as loud as it was earlier, that's for sure. It is pitch black outside now. So TXT. Oops. That's like too many cards at once.
TXT. See what they're currently going through.
So they're feeling a bit imbalanced and unable to talk about it. Judgment. They're okay, so they're busy. They're really busy right now. It's like, but almost too busy, like not in a good way. And it's like they're afraid to speak out. Whatever they're doing, I guess, is not been like released. It's not known to the public. They're having to like kind of hold it in to themselves. They're keeping, as they playing it close to their chest. I don't know if there's a secret appearance they're making or surprise or something of that nature. Five of Swords too is like disagreement, conflict, almost like not feeling good about a choice. Three of Pentacles is about collaboration, teamwork. Seven of Wands in reverse. This is pitted against each other. It's deceit, but this is almost like internal. All right, so like coming together. Again, this could be like about collaboration with something. An artist, a company, a something. Group. Three of Cups though is like collaboration, coming together, trying to feel good about it. And then the Eight of Wands is quickly. Something happening quickly. I don't know. Part of me wants to throw out a guess that they would be on a TV show like Kingdom, like as a surprise guest. But it's like suddenly a lot of work, more work than they need to do. But there's also some interest in it too. Like there's like optimism there. And like when they talk about it, even though it also feels like it's really rushed, like maybe it was like a last minute decision. Like I said, for some reason they can't talk about it openly. This will tell me like it's about meeting the public too. Like, so getting to see people faster than they thought they would. Unless it's like a tour and they're having like scramble to get everything together. But there is some internal disagreements too. And I guess not everybody is. Maybe the only three of them are for whatever this is. And then the other two are kind of iffy about how they feel about it. And this one too is like, there's some conflicting ideas. A lot of Swords in reverse. A lot of opinions not being able to come to the surface or come out publicly. The King of Swords also shows about like your mind, you know, with Temperance especially, like your mind is like all over the place. So there's a lot of disorganization. People not able to say their opinions, especially TXT probably unable to say their opinions on it, though they want to. They want to do well. They want to. Maybe these are more about having fond feelings about who they're going to meet. If they're going to see the fans, they may be excited about that. They just may not be excited about the way that it's happening for them right now. So I think there'll be a surprise, like unexpected announcement. But like for the fans, positive. For the boys, a lot of work they didn't think they were going to have to do, or a lot of work that is showing that the people in charge of it are not organized. But I think we'll know soon. Hopefully I get this video out in time. Today is what? The 15th? March 15th or so. I will have the date in the beginning of this video, but I do want to say it in the video in case this announcement happens before I get the video out, because sometimes it takes me a week or two. But yeah, I think there'll be a big kind of announcement about them doing some sort of surprise TV show or tour or something that's going to like interact and engage the fans, but they're having to like really scramble to get it together, and they're not super happy about the way that's being handled. So hopefully good news as soon for I have no idea what TXT's fan base is. If you know, please tell me so I can give you guys the proper respect when I, do TXT readings. But it's nice to have some kind of good news for once. Usually I have a lot of questionable things going on lately with all the drama in the K-pop world. It seems like TXT actually has fairly decent things going on for them. Like I said, kind of collaboration, work, eager to meet the fans. Like I said, a new project quickly. That's really the overall message I'm getting. So good luck to them. Good luck to your fans. And hopefully if you want to get any more readings about TXT, leave them in the comments. I have a Ko-fi page. If you enjoyed this, feel free to leave a tip. Other than that, please guys, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you guys real soon. Bye.